Welcome, Pilates friends. Today, grab a couple blocks. If you don't have blocks, it's okay. You could just use nothing at all, but I like to have them. We're going to hold them and use them for a little proprioceptive feedback. Maybe use them for a little elevation for our hands as well. If you don't have that, you could grab a small ball or rolled up towel that we could hold instead. Something that's just going to be fairly secure, lightweight. We don't want anything too heavy. All right, or just your body weight only. That's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to roll on back onto the mat. And we can start with, let's go ahead and start with one block between the thighs and the other block we're going to hold. So starting here, let's actually just take the one block between the thighs. I'm going to set the other one down for just a moment to get warmed up. Arms just down by your side, starting with a nice big deep breath in. Let your shoulders relax. Start to notice where your breath is today. If it's in your chest or if it's kind of shallow or short, try to drop it down so that you're getting a nice long inhale. Exhale, just blow it out softly through the mouth. And starting to connect that energy of contraction with the exhale. So inhale nice and deep. Let that kind of travel all the way down to your pelvic belly, and then exhale, blow out the breath, starting to find a little more cinching of your waist, a little bit more connection to your core with that exhale. Deep breath in. Try to relax the shoulders, relax the face, blow out the breath. Feel a lift all the way from your pelvic floor, like an elevator riding up from the basement all the way up to the 5th floor. That's going to be up here by your sternum. Okay, so inhale, relax. Exhale, blow it out. Squeeze the block just a bit between the legs. Your feet are hip distance. One more breath here to prepare. Now I want you to keep that bit of connection that you've created with that exhale. And go ahead and take your other block. And we'll start with the hands just right over the chest. So my palms are really flat, just flanking either side of the block, not gripping it with the fingertips, just pressing with the palms. Rock your shoulder blades back. So I want you to first kind of push up toward the sky, little retraction, okay, and then protraction, and now retract the shoulder blades, pulling them back. Okay, so just inhale. Push up toward the sky with your hands and imagine that you're just trying to lift up through the arms, not your chest. Okay? And then exhale, pull it back down, anchor into the mat. Now, every time you do this, I want you to keep your pelvis steady. So inhale, neutral with your pelvis. Exhale, and pull back. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, really set those shoulders deep into the girdle and connect your rib cage to your pelvis. Okay, so now keeping that action, pressing into your feet slightly, go ahead and start a deep breath in as you start to lift your hips up. Everything lifting as a unit. Your arms are going to go over your head. Inhale, squeeze the legs toward each other. Exhale, slowly bring it down and your hands just land right over your chest again. So inhale, lifting up, sweep the arms, and exhale, bring it back down. Every time you lift, I want you to feel as though your knees are moving towards your toes. You're lifting your hips and your rib cage as though there's just a unit there, that's all connected like a cylinder or a canister. Bring it back to center, everything lands. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, lowering down. Let's try 3 more here, making sure your feet are the same distance as your knees. Inhale, lift, moving knees toward toes, lifting hips, nice diagonal from knees to hips to your shoulders. And 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Last one, lift. And exhale, bring it down. Very, very good. All right, release that for just one moment. We're going to set the blocks just off to the side for a second. Take the legs nice and wide. So straighten out the legs here. Okay, so I'm going to start just by reaching one hand up. So let's reach the right hand up, kind of like a star position here. Our arms are out to the sides like a big capital letter A. Your palms are down. Your feet are out to the corners of the mat or wider. So lifting your right hand first. Go ahead and just keep that left hand down by the floor. Inhale, start to lift up, reach toward the ceiling, just lift the shoulders, and now lift that right leg up. Bring it back down. You can sweep that arm overhead, making sure the ribs are staying down. Deep breath, exhale, lift and reach, and lift that right knee. Bring it back down, inhale, move those. And exhale, lift. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, lift. Now, every time you lift here, I want you to imagine as you roll back that your rib cage is staying gently connected to your hips. So there's not a flare or a lift of the rib cage there. Now, if you have a little more oomph today and you want to come up a little higher, you can come up without a lot of jerking or moving. Just lift up onto that left elbow and bring it back down. So we're not using the arm as leverage. We're just going to do about 3 more. So no leverage here, meaning I'm not rocking into it and trying to push myself up. The arm's just there for stability. The rest of the work is coming from the core. Okay, so just lifting. So you can come up with just the shoulders or to a little half V sit. One more time, inhale, exhale, lift, reach, and then bring it back down. Okay, switching sides, so bring the right arm down by the side. We'll take the left arm just straight up to begin. Legs are still wide, inhale, exhale, start to float up like you're trying to touch the ceiling with your hand, and then bring that left knee up. Okay, bring it all back down. You can sweep the arm overhead if you want a little extra action for your shoulder. And then exhale, lift up. And bring it down. So you could even place your right hand across your left rib cage just to see what's happening, making sure that you're not popping those ribs up, everything's staying connected. Just as a nice gentle reminder here, lift up and bring it down. Again, that right hand could be out to the side. We could add a little bit more lift if you feel like you want to come up a little higher. Go ahead and lift up, but make sure that it's just happening from the core. Inhale, come back. Exhale, gently floating. Inhale back, 3 more, whichever variation you're on. And lift. 2. Blow it out. 1 more. You've got it. Deep breath in. And exhale, lift. Bring it back down. Take a moment. Relax here. So we're going to bring the feet back onto the mat, ready for a bridge position. Squeezing your block or ball, whatever you might have there. Take a block if you have it. Just take that between the hands. If you don't, you could just hold your hands up over your chest. All right, so we're going to start squeezing into that block. Get everything set. Feet are hip distance again. And they're the distance of your knees. So whatever you're squeezing, make sure your feet are in line there. Okay, so inhale, we're going to lift the hips up. Keep your head neutral for now. Now I want you to turn your whole upper body without moving your legs. So you're going to turn onto your left shoulder. Let your head come with you. If you feel like you need a blanket under your head, you could take it here. Okay, so you can roll to one side, drop your hips down, inhale, lift, hold, and rotate to the right side. You're just rolling onto the right shoulder. Okay, back to center and drop the hips. Okay, lifting up, inhale, exhale, rotating to the left. Back to center. We're trying to keep those knees super steady. I want you to squeeze those inner thighs. Inhale, lift, and rotate. Honestly, it feels like it's a nice little massage for my shoulder blades as well. You might feel that as well. Lift up, exhale, rotate, back to center, back down. One more time, lift the hips and rotate. Back to center and release. Very nice. All right, set those blocks off to the side again. We're going to take the legs wide just like you did before. So feet out a little wider than your mat. Both hands behind the head. Fingertips just barely interlaced, nice and wide at the base of your skull, up toward the middle of your head. Not so much at the top of your head. So make sure that you're holding on somewhere closer to your neck. Elbows are out. Inhale. This time we're going to cross over. So lifting your left knee up, cross up and over with that right side. And bring it down. Switching. Inhale. Exhale. Lift. Deep breath as you roll back. Exhale. Lift. Inhale. Exhale. Just alternating from side to side, keeping your legs fairly wide as you place the foot back to the floor, about the width of your mat or possibly slightly wider. Exhale. Make sure the head stays heavy into your fingertips. We don't want to push the head forward at all. Just rotating from the waist. Inhale. Exhale. Last 4. 3. Good job. 2. And 1 more. And release it. Rocking all the way back. You can do a nice big stretch out here. Taking your block again. This time we're going to keep the legs wide. So heels out to the corners. Take your block. We're going to hold on to it. Pressing into the palms. So again, not gripping with your fingertips, but rather keeping those palms nice and straight with your fingertips up. Inhale. And then exhale. Start to lift the chest and reach toward the end of your mat. Inhale at the top. Exhale. So it's a wide leg roll up here. Just notice if this feels different than your traditional roll up. Okay, so exhale, lift. Maybe it's a little easier, maybe it's more challenging. Just kind of notice the difference here. Inhale. As we start to progress, we could start to lift up higher. If that's something that feels right for you, we can lift and reach into a little spinal flexion reach. Come back up and lower it back down nice and slow. Additionally, take the arms overhead. Keep those ribs down. Sweep. Exhale, reach. You can hold halfway, take a breath, or all the way up. And then take a breath. And exhale, bring it back down slowly. 4 more here. Inhale, whichever variation. So I've given you many things to think about there. You can take your arms over the head or just even with your chest. Roll up partway or roll up all the way. There's nothing that's going to happen if you force yourself up into that full roll up, though. There's nothing positive that's going to happen, I should say. Right? So you're not going to get a gold star. Unicorns aren't going to come flying by your house. Nothing's going to happen except that you forced yourself up. And we want to work on strength and deep core energy. Okay, so I want you to go slowly and go to the level that's appropriate for you today. Continue to work there. And then the unicorns will come. The rainbows will appear. All right, take that last one and roll it back. Now, even with these, if you rolled up all the way especially, you may have found yourself kind of moving on your mat. So go ahead and readjust. Move back into the center. So we're going to take those legs up. And this time we're going to just bend the knees. No additional equipment here. We're just going to bend the knees into a nice little kind of tabletop with your shins. Arms are going to reach up toward the sky again. And this time, go ahead and you're going to press those arms down like they're pushing against something. And then just bring them back up. So imagine you were in a pool of water. Your rib cage is drawn down. Everything is connected. We Exhale, push through it. And inhale, come back up. Now, starting to alternate your legs. Take right leg down with the arms and bring it back up. Switch sides. So press, push, good. And back up. Right side, push, and bring it up. Left side. Just continuing to alternate here. Inhale, exhale. We have a couple more options right here available. So we can float those shoulders and do the same thing. Down, bring it up. And down, bring it up. Good, little hollow hold there. Now additionally, last option while we're here is both legs can drop down. So we can inhale, push, and lift. Push down and lift. Head can be up or down. Down, bring it up, good. Last 3, 2, and last 1. And rest. Bring it back, bring your knees into chest. Just give it a little hug, rocking side to side. While we're here, we can do a reclining twist, always a nice choice. So you can grab a block or just knees together, making sure that whichever you choose, that you can actually press your knees into something, whether that's each other or into an item. So we want to try to eliminate any space that's between the legs as we're coming over without pushing into something. All right, so arms are out. Inhale. And start to twist over to the left, squeeze, and exhale, come back to center. Inhale over, and exhale up. Gently rocking side to side, keeping your shoulders as anchored as you can. Movement from the waist. Inhale, exhale. Think about the muscles that are working, specifically your obliques. 4 more. Really squeeze into the inner thighs. 3, 2, and last one. And on this one, go ahead, place your feet down, move your block. So on this one, we have the opposite effect. Oftentimes we kind of climb down the mat. So make adjustments again as needed and just find your way back to center. We're going to take that one block one more time. Go ahead and bring those legs up. All right, so we'll start with a bent knee variation again, and then we'll move forward from here. So with the legs lifted, I want you to drop your right foot toward the floor. So hover here, and now lift up and cross over with your block to the left. So alternating side to side. We're going to come back to center, switch sides. Left foot goes down, right leg comes up, twist to the right. So you're always twisting to the leg that's up. Come back to center and switch. Now you can keep your head up at center and continue. Try not to roll onto your hips. And your last option is to go with a straight leg variation. So nice, long, straight legs if that feels right for you. If your hamstrings are kind of tight, this may not be the best option. You might want to go back to that bent knee variation. So go to where you can move pretty freely. Inhale, exhale, reach. Keeping equal pressure across your sacrum as you rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Last 4. 3. 2. Very good. Last 1. And we're going to go right from here into a double leg stretch. Those knees pull in. Reach over the legs, curl up into a little ball, and then rest back. Reach it out and bring it back in. Your legs could go much higher. They could go toward the sky. They could go toward the wall in front of you. You can keep your head down the whole time. You just need to make choices that are appropriate for your body today. The level that's most appropriate for you to work in. Not always the easiest place, but the one that's most appropriate. Meaning you're not feeling pain. You may feel discomfort of the movement. Discomfort meaning that you're feeling the muscles kind of firing off, but not discomfort through your joints. Okay, let's go. 3. Inhale, reach. Exhale. 2. And last 1. And rest. Awesome work. Okay, set those blocks somewhere off to the side while we roll over to one side and just press up. Now, if you feel like you want to just do a nice big roll up to get yourself up there, I mean, it's Pilates, why not? But you can always take the safe route and roll to one side as well. So we're going to come over. Let's start with a table position first. So as we're in the tabletop position, feel free to, again, kind of put some padding under the knees if needed. Okay, so from here, I want you to start with a little tabletop, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Go ahead and take your left leg. We're going to lift that knee up toward the left arm, tap it back. Okay, bring it up, and then tap it back. Now, as you're lifting it up, I want you to gaze slightly over to your right, and that may help you from moving those hips. So it'll look a little backwards, but I'll show you here. So here, I tend to move that hip over when I lift that knee up. Now, if I'm looking over to my right, I tend to keep more energy in that left side. So I want you to try that. Just kind of look over to the right side a little and see if that helps keep your hips a little steady without leaning. So let's go 2 more. Just a little tap. And 1. We'll switch sides. So bring that right leg up and over to the right tricep, and then just tap it back. Exhale. Deep breath. Exhale in. Take it back. Try to even out the hips. Just open that right side up. After this one, we've got 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Working on those obliques. 2. And last one. Good job. Go ahead and rock yourself all the way back. Nice big child's pose stretch. And from here, we're going to be working. Now, I'm going to give you an option, again, to take blocks. So you can elevate your hands here. So go ahead and sit all the way back. So as we sit back, and then reach your hands as far forward as you can. That's where your blocks will go if you're using them, and they will be wide. They're going to be at least the width of your mat. And make sure they stay pretty level, though, that they're not going to be wobbly. So just maybe to the edges, the outside edge of your block, lining up with the outside edge of your mat. So they're still, by standard definition, they're going to be kind of narrow, but they're wide on your mat. All right, so we're going to come up from that child's pose. Come all the way up. Shift yourself forward, which should put you in a nice alignment for a plank. Okay? Bend the knees, give it a little hamstring curl. Now bend your elbows, lower down, push up, and sit back. So we'll inhale, come forward, curl heels toward glutes, down, up, and back. Okay, so it's a nice little push-up right there with elbows pulling in. So we curl, press, up, and back. Inhale. Curl, press, up, and back. You could do this more elevated. You'll just have to take the hamstring curl out of it, most likely if you're standing. And 2 more. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, come forward. Curl, press, and back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. Come forward. Exhale on the push-up. And bring it all the way back. And rest. All right, very nice. Shake that out for a second. So if you need to take a moment here, you can either come to seated or just standing upright. And we'll just do a little massage there for your wrists, your forearms, and shake them out. All right, so we're gonna come back. I'm gonna take those blocks. We're coming back to that tabletop position. So from that table position, let's start with the left leg first. So we're gonna send the left toes back. So it's gonna be, we're just gonna count the taps, the tap of the toe, tap of the knee. So it's a 3-point tap. So we tap 1, bring that knee up, 2, take it back, 3, hold it, and now lift the right arm. Reach it forward. Bring the arm down and bring that knee in. All right, switch sides. There's a lot happening. Switch sides. The right toe goes back, knee out, tap back, hold, left arm lifts. Bring it back in. Switch. So left goes back, tap, knee, toe, hold, right arm. We're going to add a spinal balance after this one. So we tap right, knee, tap, hold, opposite arm. Bring it in. Switch. Left toe, knee, toe. Now lift the arm and the leg, spinal balance. Bring it back in. Inhale, tap, 2, 3, lift, and down. Tap 1, 2, 3, and lift. Bring it down, switching every time. Right side back, 1, 2, 3, 4 is lift. Bring it down, 2 more each side. You've got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more each side. Back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Right leg, 1, 2, 3, and lift, 4, and bring it down. All right, very nice. Set the hips back. We're going to actually come all the way down onto the mat. I'm just going to move my blocks so they're not in the way. All right, all the way down to the mat this time. Okay, so you can have a little blanket or something, not too high, but something to rest your head on here or your forehead to the mat, depending on how that feels for you, or you can just do a little slight hover, okay, with nose toward the floor. So you're going to press your feet out wide, so just like you did when you were on your back, your toes toward the corners, arms out to the sides, and like the letter T. So arms are out pretty wide. Relax the elbows so we're not keeping it stiff and straight. Pull them down a little. Inhale, just start to lift your left leg, and then both arms pull back. Just a little reverse fly there. And release. Switching sides. So your right leg lifts, arms pull back. It's like you're just kind of flapping your wings. And then bring it down. So inhale, left. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Keep the pubic bone heavy, tail long, ribs still feel like they're kind of pulling up and into your body rather than resting everything on the front of the body into the mat. So you feel like you're kind of trying to lift your core a little away from the mat, still engaging. And just because we're on the mat doesn't mean we don't engage. So lift, bring it down, give a little squeeze there between your shoulder blades. And down. Now, if you feel like you could take both legs and both arms next level, or stay with the one leg at a time. Okay, we'll continue on, and we'll do 4 more total. So count them out. If you're doing alternating, you're just going to continue alternating. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Lift, give it a little hold. So even if you're doing one arm and one leg at a time, you're going to take them over the head, reach wide, and bring it back. Okay. So reach, open the legs a little more, bring it back. So if you're doing one leg at a time, same thing, just alternate. Okay, so we're going a little closer to center with the legs when we bring them in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Open. Close. 1. And close. Good. Release it. Oh, rest there. Go ahead and circle out through your ankles a few times. Bend the knees. Rock it side to side with your feet. Arms can just relax anywhere. Just by your sides, under your head. A couple more deep breaths. All right, very good. Now let's take those hands wide. So feet are on the mat, or tops of your feet are on the mat. So hands out, nice and wide. I want you to just kind of lift those elbows slightly like little bat wings that you're lifting up. Okay, push into the fingertips and start to lift up. Now I'm not over cranking in the back. I'm not trying to do this and crank into that back. Okay, I'm lifting up. So look, the whole body kind of comes up almost like a little push-up and then drop it down. So yeah, there's going to be some curvature there in the back. Of course, our hips are still down, but I'm starting to lift more as a unit rather than just cranking into that back. So I want you to keep your ribs connected to your hips still here. Just going to lift up and lower down. Try not to let that land all up in your shoulders by your neck. So really pull those elbows back. Inhale. Just press into the fingertips. Lift up and lower down. Now, seeing how we feel here, you can continue with that particular movement or last and final movement. Palms are down. Fingertips are spread and they're spinning out just a bit. So they're not pointing up to the top of the mat necessarily. Okay, they're spinning out a little. They're really wide off of your mat. Inhale, pull those shoulders back, connect your front body core, and see if you can just push yourself the rest of the way up and bring it down. Now you might go back to that fingertip variation. That's okay. Okay, we're going to lift the whole core. So notice I'm lifting all the way down to my knees. So my thighs up, my lower part of my thigh or closer to the knee is staying on the mat, but I am lifting the hips. Nice and wide, shoulders back, or you go to that fingertip variation with more of a swan lift. So we've got 3. Gaze is ahead. 2, just kind of up at the top of your mat. Make sure that the space around your neck is relaxed. And 1. Bring it down and just rest. Turn your head to one side, let those hands come back. Turn your head to the opposite side. Once again, bend the knees, sway the feet side to side. We'll come back up, hands by the shoulders, just gently pressing yourself up, pressing back toward the back of your mat. Let's come all the way back up to seated. We did it. We did it together. All right, having a nice big wide Z-sit or little mermaid stretch. We'll sweep the arm up and over, reaching to one side. Whoa, good job today. Really work those obliques. Come all the way over and give it a twist. Reaching out as far as you can. Come back up, sweep. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, reach. We'll come up. And just make a decision here. You want to take a little forward fold with the knee bent or with the leg straight or maybe a little bit of both so we can get into the hamstrings and to the hips. And then we'll just switch sides. So switching your legs. They can be stacked or wide and reach. Depends on how it feels for you and your hips. So this hip gives me a little bit of issue every once in a while, so I like to stack them on that side. So it's completely acceptable. Go again to where you need to for your body today. Reach up and exhale, reach. Good. 1 more big side reach over. Coming up, folding forward, or go ahead and straighten out that back leg and come forward. Whip them all the way back up to seated. Finding some variation of seated that feels good for you. Sweeping both arms up. Take a big sweep and let those hands meet. Bring them right down to your Pilates. Rockstar Center. You did awesome today.